Good evening. It's Friday. How's everybody doing? How's everybody in the chat? I can't see the chat but I know there's people in there. How's everybody doing? Anyway, just a quick intro to the show. Welcome back to LXV. We've got an awesome little show planned tonight. We've got a great special guest, Steve Phil from Redemption Vape. He was on our expo we did last time, and Steve was really interesting. I think we could have chatted to Steve for quite a while. We gave him a full hour, but I think we could have stayed on and chatted to Steve for a bit longer. But, you know, we had lots of other people to fit in as well. Anyway, let's bring everybody else up. How's everybody doing, guys? You all doing good?
Carl.
Absolutely spiffing, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
Good. Vinny, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bit chilly. I need to get a heater, but I'm good and I'm live and you can see me and I'm not glitching, so I'm quite happy.
Fair enough. And Paul, you all good?
Yeah, I'm great, mate. Thank you. Apart from this knife I've got in my back. I've got a sore back. It feels like someone stabbed me. It hurts.
That sucks.
So I'm like casually gangster leaning in my chair to kind of try and help that shit.
What the gangster lean? Fucking easy right out, baby.
See, this is why I'm using the stack tonight, so that way then I can just rest my elbow on it and just kind of cover it.
You don't have to worry about like moving that much to vape. Fair enough.
Exactly. This is why stacks were invented.
And Christopher, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So we're officially in the joys of lockdown 2.
Who's actually in lockdown though? Who's actually in lockdown?
Is anybody actually locked down? Is anybody not working? Is anybody... I know I'm working.
I'm definitely working. Evening Adele, evening Scott, evening Jacobus. I hope I said your name right.
Yeah, so great little show planned tonight. We've got a great special guest, Steve. He's just having a couple of technical issues, so we'll bring him on in a bit. We've got our usual cool wall. We've got Room 101. I don't think there's much vaping news this evening, is there? There's nothing really new. I don't think, is there? Anybody got any vaping news? Have we got time for a news segment? We've got time for a news segment.
Not as such. I mean, we can regurgitate news like a lot of other shows do. Or we could just skip that little segment today, maybe.
If there's no news, there's no news.
No new news.
Oh, yeah.
There's no
There's some
new news.
Some new shinies coming out, which look interesting, I must say.
Yeah, is anybody any new products? Anybody seen that they're?
Thank you, Oliver.
Got him well trained.
Very well trained.
You see how we had to kind of come in just enough to get on camera as well, just to say, I've been unusual, but...
Steve, I can see you down there. Can you hear us now? I can't hear you, so you have to give me a thumbs up.
You can hear us, Steve.
If you can even hear us, yeah, cool. You can hear us.
Steve, I will bring you in just a minute, and then we'll crack on from there. So just letting him know he had a few technical issues.
Josh, don't hit the rant button. I'm just going to bring this up from Scott Leaning. This has been hyped up beyond belief, and I even made a stupid post earlier about it. About Biden banning vaping in America. It's not that, okay? Do some research. It's going to ban vaping. He wants to know 100% if it's safe. And it all relates to the vitamin E in the THC cartridges. Chances are he won't fully ban vaping. He wants to know it's not going to cause harm.
Yeah, which is the exact same thing Trump said when the ship was going down, basically. A lot of that, like, blast, as it were, if you look at the sources of where they're coming from, i.e. the Trump side of things, they're all on about it like he's instantly going to ban it.
Yeah,
he's not going to do anything. You know, he's got more important things to worry about straight off the bat, like getting the Cheeto out of his house more than anything.
and retirement, of course.
Well, of course. You know, good old Sleepy Joe.
Dementia Joe. As
Yeah,
they call
I quite
him.
like him. I quite like Joe. I think he's a good guy. I think he'll get kind of like Obama did in the last kind of 6 months of his term. He'll get beaten down by everything and end up being a douchebag. But aren't all politicians like that?
Yeah.
We'll just do a quick. We won't do a whole what you're vaping segment because we're not trying to do that so much. We just generally go through the juices of vaping, and if anyone's got anything new, that's it really. So,
Oh, yeah, I've got something new.
Paul's got something new. What's Paul got?
Is it another Immortal mod?
No, it isn't.
Oh,
It's not a mod. I've not
is it
actually.
Immortal or
No,
MFG?
no.
Steve Field will be on in a short.
I haven't bought anything for ages. It's a new juice. It's Andy's favourite. So I thought I'd give it a try. Yeah, peanut butter and jam on toast. I mean, I can't taste any of the toast, but the peanut butter and the jam are incredible.
That's not a bad thing though. I find lots of vapes that advertise they taste like toast just taste like burnt bloody toast.
Burnt toast.
Yeah.
Well, that just jam on toast was gross.
That was
bloody lovely.
Yeah, I've got a few new juices for me this evening. I'm on this this Humble Crumble from Humble, which I think's like a blueberry crumble, and it's really good. And I just went out and bought a load of juice and tried, and then I got the Glass Basics sugar cookie, which literally I've just died, and it sent me to vaping heaven. It's awesome. And and a new RTA because I'm on a bit of an RTA kick at the minute, so I decided to buy the Cree from Gas Mod. So this is the Cree 24. Really nice. Donald to build. I've literally just built it, wicked it. It's loud though. But at under 20 quid, can't really moan.
That isn't that bad.
No, it's well made as well. Well made. So, and then I'm obviously on the tripods. Because, I can't get enough of tripods at the minute.
tripod tart.
All about them tripods.
I'm on some a new range I've had sent to me to review. It's the Sisters. It's a cider range. Dark Fruits is the one bashing now, which is quite nice.
That's a bit of a rip-off of Brothers Cider completely, isn't it?
Just a wee bit, yeah. It's a little bit cheeky, isn't it?
Even that packaging's the same.
Yeah. I did think that.
Yeah.
When they're all quite similar as well.
Yes. Any good, though?
They're not bad. I'm just working my way through them. I'm just slowly doing it because I had a CBD range coming from the same company as well, so I've been enjoying that as well. A little bit too much.
Fair enough. And Chris,
right.
You want anything juice-wise this evening, or just the same old Chris?
I'm on my Vaporoni lychee lemonade.
Oh, a different Vaporoni
which
juice.
I highly recommend you do not vape outside when it's bloody freezing. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, anything with Coolada or menthol in is just like bad news for wintertime.
Yeah.
It's like, don't do it.
So, bigging up Steve's juice. Steve's juice is very nice. It does a lovely lemon tart.
Anyway, I think saying that, I think let's bring Steve on, shall we?
Are we going to do the
Let's bring
bumper?
him on.
Yeah, we'll do the bumper. I haven't made the bumpers not to use them, dude.
Exactly.
Professional, Vinny. It's a professional.
Anyway, guys, quick bumper, and we'll be joined by Steve from Redemption Vape. Here we go. Good evening, Steve. How you doing?
Good evening, guys. How are you?
Very well.
I'm
Awesome.
good, thanks.
Honestly, I don't know what it is with my setup. I've got all the gear and no idea. I
That
swear,
sounds just like Vinny.
it just
I've got no gear now.
had a nice little home studio set up, and now I'm back onto my iPhone. But crazy. Hey, listen, there's something non-vaping that I want to quickly just show you because I'm amazed. I love products, I love engineering, and there's not a lot that that really excites me. But I've got the new iPhone 12 Pro, and because it's such a nice phone, I wanted to make sure that I look after it. So the first thing before anything is a quad lock case, because they're great for motorbike. They just go on, twist, and they stay on. And but anyway, then I thought about the screen, and I thought, oh, I'm always fed up with buying these like £3 glass fronted things that you end up changing 2 or 3 times a year. I mean, they do the job. You drop it, the screen cracks, you peel it off, you get another one on. So I was searching around, and I came across a pair of glass that goes on the front, and it comes with a nice little kit. It comes with a little surround that you put on the outside that it kind of centers everything nicely, so you get it right first time. Except I didn't clean it properly. When I got the thing on, it had a little bit of dust underneath, and it caused a small airlock. So I thought, oh well, okay, well at least I've got another one. So I peeled it off, and then I kind of looked at it, and I thought, I wonder how good these are in terms of, can you scratch them, can you break them? So I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose because I can't use it. So I thought I'd give it a test, and I was gobsmacked. So I want to show you this. So this is the glass. Yeah, I know you're laughing, but honestly, I've got to show you this really. So that's it.
Yeah,
it's robust. This is a Japanese global knife. It's one of my favourite knives. Very rarely I'll use it for anything other than cooking, but I'm going to just show you this. This is super sharp, by the way. So this is the front of it, yeah? I'm going to show you all over it, and now I'm going to do this to it. Look. And I'm really giving it some big licks. It's perfect. Not a scratch.
wow.
Hasn't broke it or anything.
Jesus.
Honestly, mate, it's as smooth as a baby's bum.
That is actually super impressive.
Yeah, isn't it, Josh? I told you it's not vape related, but anyway, so
that's fine. We like anything like that, though.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm sold.
That is actually really
So
cool.
when that's on the front of my my phone, the second one, if I clean it up properly, I will have quite a lot of confidence in that. And that's a really cool bit of kit, that. So they were about £8, I think £8 each, which is probably 2 or 3 quid more than you'd pay. And if you go into a shop and get a cheap one, they still charge you a tenner to have one fitted. So, so yeah, there you go.
Tech with Steve.
I know, tip of the day, buy one of these. I can't even remember the makes. I've left the box down at the shop. So if anyone wants to know what
how much was it?
message, and I'll let them know. But very impressed. So much so I might even write them an email. Go, actually, do you know what? It does what it says on the box.
That's what reviews are for.
Yeah, I might go big style and try it with a hammer tomorrow, because I'm bound to be able to destruct it at some point. But that's pretty decent. I can't
Give it Vinny, he'll break it.
You're gonna go full Jay Hayes on it. And just...
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I did a review once on a quadcopter years ago, and I did something to it, and it burnt out. And anyway, it looked all intact, but some of the electronics have burnt out. So I did this really nice review for about 5 minutes before I said what I thought of it. And I said, well, the crunch is, what do I think of it? And I got a sledgehammer. I just smashed it in one night, just for attention. But yeah, it's pretty decent. So you guys all right?
Really well. Yeah, really well.
Yeah,
so,
good.
I think, yeah.
Living the dream, Steve. Living the dream.
Well, we're trying. It's we had a busy few days running up to lockdown, which was kind of expected, because it happened on the first time round. So we had a couple of record-breaking days, which was nice. And then obviously we were pretty much geared up for it already at a moment's notice, because we knew. I think we all knew in reality it was going to happen. So we launched our call and collect, which has worked out really well. Click and collect, which can be done online, and then click and collect, call and collect, and then online sales. So yeah, it's been okay. What's interesting is we're doing less running around now because of the call and collect. It saved us quite a bit of time because people are now ringing up, placing the order, paying for it over the phone, and then we're making up the goodie bags with a few little sweets and bits and bobs in to say thank you. And then the shop now has been redone, so when you come through the shop door, you can only get within about 3 foot of the shop. We have a tables horizontal across the front, and then we just lay the parcels on there, stand back, let them take it. There's no contact. It works really well. So
really good way to be, I think. I mean, obviously it's trying to keep as much business going in a very different way.
It is.
But I think a lot of people, like you said, are more prepared for it because done it once, kind of, right, we kind of know what we're doing now.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a lot of that trial and error, wasn't there, on the first one? It's like, is this going to work? How can we do this? And it's it's a bit of a shame to be locked down again, but
it is.
Needs must, I'd rather
we've been really
get through it.
excuse me, we've been quite robust. We've had a few people today that have just turned up, come into the shop and said, "Oh, can I have one of these? Can we have one of those?" And we've been really stringent and just said no. We could be audited at any time. I mean, the COVID police have been past us maybe 5-6 times today. They've not popped in, but they've had a little nosy. But we've got a notice on the door saying, call and collect only. But what we have done is just said to them, look, just go around the corner, ring the shop up, place your order. We'll take payment, come back in 5 minutes, and it will all be ready for you. And, so that's
perfect little loophole.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a loophole. I just think it's a case of, we're following the right method, and it's important. Obviously, we've got to, we don't want to lose any business, but at the same token, we don't want to put the business in jeopardy by, flouting it. So
well, I don't care.
I was quite surprised. I mean, it was the government that came up with the click and collect. That was a bit of a surprise, really. We thought it'd be 100% home deliveries only, but when they said click and collect, I mean, they probably were thinking click and collect for the big food people, but they didn't define it, and they absolutely didn't say it can't be for non-essential shops. They just said if you offer a click and collect service, you're allowed to.
Curry's have jumped on it as well, haven't they? And they're doing the same thing, and PT World, and
I know we've jumped on it.
Yeah,
so,
I don't blame you. People have got to make a living. It's even though they say it's a month, it could go longer. It's a worrying time for any small business,
I think with the way that Rishi Sunak's announced the fact that furlough is going to continue to March, there's no way in hell that they're stopping this after a month. I would say we're going to get at least 6 weeks. Yeah. And I think they'll release everybody a bit for Christmas, but I don't think the pubs will reopen.
No.
And then I think they'll sort of put it back on again. So people, you don't want to be known as the Prime Minister that ruined Christmas, do you? So
the pubs can run like a click and collect service as well, can't they?
Yeah.
Do you not think that when you just generally look around, it doesn't look any different to how it did last week? There seems to be the same amount of traffic on the road, the same amount of people that are wandering around, either shopping or whatever, exercising, whatever you want to call it. I haven't seen anything physically different to how it was last week.
Not when you compare it to the first one.
Where I work,
absolutely.
I was going to say, where I work, it's super quiet. Like, I've noticed, I work here, so where I work in Exeter, I don't work in the high street, we're off the high street. But we're on a really busy roundabout, and it's like Studentville, and it is dead. There's hardly anybody walking past. There's hardly any cars coming around the roundabout. But one of those. It's strange. Feels quiet. But that's just maybe where I am.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to say, Steve, congratulations on your award. I thought you'd have it sat in front of you.
Do you know what? I'd forgotten all about that today. It's sitting proudly in our display cabinet with our Geek Vape stuff. Yeah, we were really chuffed for that.
Yeah, I bet.
You know, it took quite a few interviews as such, if you like. You know, it was nice to get the nomination in the first place, and then I think we went through 3 rounds, and between the last round and getting notified was a period of about 7 weeks, and it had completely gone off my radar. And then we got an email about 4 weeks ago to say that we'd won the best emerging business in up and coming business in Grimsby, which is really nice. So
we're getting a lot of questions, Steve, asking where Biggles is.
He is just sleeping down there. He'll be up in a bit. He's having his little rest. I'll tell you what, he's really enjoying the extra space in the shop. So he normally sleeps under my desk in my office, or he's behind the counter. But since we've re-altered the shop and we've got barricades, he's got free run of the whole place, and he's absolutely loving it. And during the day, he's just bouncing around. And of course now he's knackered because they're supposed to still be having 18 hours of sleep a day, and he's not had any at all today. So he's in the land of nod. But I love that.
What is the Biggles?
He goes, sorry.
What is Biggles?
Biggles is a 7-month-old American Akita.
Ah.
And I named him after my favourite children's book character from many a moon ago. Probably
the great pilot ever.
Yeah. But
I'm a big fan of the Spitz breed myself.
Say again. So I didn't hear
I'm a big fan of the Spitz breed as well.
Oh yeah.
I've got the smaller version. I've got the Shiba.
Oh,
Shiba Inu.
I know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah. I've had one.
About it like it's.
I've had one since I was a kid.
I've got the smaller version. I've got the 18350 version.
Well, they are.
But
they are basically the same. They even have the same size brain.
Yeah,
which isn't really that big.
They're super intelligent dogs, actually. They're very intelligent.
They are when you compare it to the.
They've got great memories as well. You know, I mean, he's really good with customers that he knows. He likes to. We're still learning each other, obviously, but he sometimes he can get a bit grumpy with little people, and sometimes he's not overly keen on people that he doesn't know. But he's better if he makes the judgment. So if I've got him on a lead or on his harness, and I'm holding him back because I think, well, you don't know this person, so I'm just going to be a bit wary with you. I think he feels that tension as if I'm holding him back because that person might want to do me some harm. But when he's off lead and makes his own mind up, providing people don't try and stuff their hands in his mouth, he's fine. He goes around, has a little sniff, and then 5 minutes later, he's best friend. And when customers come in now that he knows, he's brilliant. Gets excited, goes up, gives them big licks. You know, he's brilliant like that. But he's with me all the time, or he's never left on his own. He's always with somebody.
I've not seen him since he was tiny, Steve. I'll have to come in.
Yeah, he's
and click and collect.
I was going to say, not for the minute you won't, Vinny. If it's a 3-foot radius, mate, you ain't fitting in that. So.
He's 7 stone now.
What hell?
I know. Look, he sat in the palm of my hand when I first got him. Just about. He was tiny. I can't even lift him up now.
Yeah, they do get to grow to big size, don't they?
Yeah, it could be about maybe 120 pound, I guess.
I'm well out of my league with dogs and animals and cats because I'm allergic to all of them, so I don't have them. I've never had them. So a lot of people say I'm missing out.
Josh,
Shane Gibson. Hello, mate. Nice to hear from you. Shane used to be one of our customers. He's moved over to Hull now. I think he still buys from us now and then via phone order or internet. But yeah, Shane's a good lad. Hope you're doing well, mate.
Yeah, Steve, I've got to say, I've not bought from you before, and I've known you from the last expo, but I've just had a quick look at your website, and I've got to say, it's a really well laid out website. It's simple to use.
Yeah. Well, do you know something? I'm glad you said that, and I really appreciate your comments. We've just had a little refresh actually, but when we were developing the brand, we were developing the brand and the brand identity before we actually had a product. So I had a very clear idea of what I wanted and how I wanted it to look.
I think
So
that's
that
the best
website,
way to do it, though. The best way to do it is to get this whole picture in your mind and go, "This is what I want.
It is.
Let's do it." You know.
And then we did a load of marketing. Obviously, I had a lot of help from people who had more knowledge than that than me, and then we started pushing out products for samples and stuff, getting feedback, and then we launched with just 8 flavors. So I think we're up to 20 something now.
Like I said, I'm just looking at it, and I'm on my phone as well. And actually, I go onto a lot of websites and stuff on my phone, like vape websites, and actually, like so many of them are bad for phones and stuff as well.
Yeah,
they're stuttery and they're slow to load, and this is just.
It looks slightly different on the phone. The website is optimized to use on all devices, but there's been hundreds of hours of work done on that since we started. It's a fully custom website. It was it wasn't template based. It was fully coded for us.
It's really nice.
And I've got the same guy working on it from day one, so he's really good. He does all my brand identity work. Anything that's got our brand on, he does for me. So we just had our new sweatshirts done. They're really nice, actually. All down. I'm left to right here.
It's got a Jägermeister kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. So that there, had this on there. You're in reverse on the camera, aren't it? It's really weird. I'm going.
You are, yeah.
Yeah.
How big do they go, Steve?
How big?
Not big enough.
Yeah, I thought you'd ask me. I had to get. Well, I'm not going to say.
Yeah, then I'll go with yours.
We've had a large one done.
Good man.
Right, did you have the spare tent that you needed cutting down?
You need a nuddy.
Slash marquee.
So Steve,
go
you crack on, Vinny. That's fine. You crack on.
I was just going to ask Steve, how's the new salt range going down? Because obviously you brought all the new flavours out now.
Yes.
Just give you a chance to mention them as well, because we have a lot of salt users that tune in.
Thank you. That is our fastest selling flavour, Blue Side. So that flavour profile is based on our short fill. And I have to say that is, without a shadow of a doubt, our fastest selling salt. We shift just from the shop only, not wholesale, but we shift in excess of 300-400 bottles of that a week just in that flavour.
Really nice.
It's really good. We had 10 flavours to start with. We've got 2 new additional ones, Mango Coolio, which in my view will not overtake, but it will be in this league. It's lovely. Really nice sweet mango with a nice little ice hit in the back of it. And then Polar Bear, which is menthol and mints. That's really nice as well. But I've got loads of favourites. There's 4 or 5 there that I really enjoy. The Parisian Mojito is really nice. Oh, there's the dog. He's just slammed himself onto my tripod that had the iPad on. I just nervously looked there. I've just seen my new iPad go like that. I thought, no. But I can always tell when he's settled, because he tends to walk around and then you hear this thump where he literally just launches himself on the floor and he does a huff and then that's it. He's gone for another hour or 2. So yeah, salt range is probably our biggest selling product out of everything, without a shadow of a doubt. Salts are the thing for us, and we use it as such a good way of getting people off smoking now. So New Start comes in, it's all about salts, unless they specifically come in and they've got a budget of 20 quid, where we'll get them onto a T18 and a TPD range. It's all about salts because they're so effective. We were at one point shifting 30 to 40 G-pods a week. I still rate them a lot. I still use one. I think they're brilliant. They're nice and simple for customer to use, nothing to adjust, one button to hit, great flavour, fantastic devices. So we sell a lot of those, but now it's all about the drag S's. You can do so much more with them, as you guys will know. I'm not really the hardware man, but But they're brilliant. They deliver great flavour. The PMP coil range is amazing. So you can do everything from 12 watts up to 80.
I mean, that's an X, but I got this the other week. This is just like a work mod. Like, I've got lots of expensive mods. I've decided that actually I don't want to carry them to work anymore. You know, so this sort of thing is great. You know, and I see for a starter, thing is, it's nice, it's comfortable in the hand. You actually know you've got it on you. Some of the small pod devices, they're easy. Like when they're in your pocket, you're like, have I got it? You know this is in your hand. You know this is in your pocket. It's just such
and of course,
device.
USB-C, very quick to charge. I mean, these will fully charge in 30 minutes, I think, 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And the same for a G-Pod. You know, they're brilliant. And there's no faffing about. Cable goes in anyway. The pod goes in anyway. There's just nothing you can get wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said that. I said salts are great for people getting off smoking because they actually give you a proper nicotine hit, and that's what
it's absorbed into your body so much quicker as well, isn't it? So,
and a lot of vapors, a lot of people when they go over, they're not quite getting enough. They're probably getting more than enough nicotine, but they're not feeling the hit properly. They're not, and it puts them. They're like, I'm not getting enough. I'll have a cigarette, and it's one of those. It's so easy to slip back in, and I think that's where salts.
Of course, the other thing I like about salts is you can't really over vape it. If you do, you're going to get a bit of a rush. The same as you would be if you were chain smoking. So it's a good way of gauging whether you've had too much. And we always make a point of having a good consultation with our customers anyway. You know, it's not always about the sale. Well, it's never about sale. It's always about getting what they need. You know, and I think that's why our reputation is built up locally nicely. It's because we will spend as much time as possible, and sometimes for nothing, sometimes just for advice. But that's absolutely fine because that person will come back because they've had a good experience.
Well done.
You see, Steve, that's what separates you from a lot of the shops in our town now, because you do that. A lot of the other shops don't do that now, unfortunately.
But it's not just me. It's it'll be Connor and Josh as well. Everyone, we all sing off the same sheet. You know. It's we had another lad start with us, and he was a really good salesperson, and he was really good at upselling. He didn't last a day, because he was upselling something more than was needed, and we had to keep jumping in, going, no, it's not right. And I just thought, at the end of the day, we had a discussion. I said, we can't work like this. It's not what we're about. So lovely lad, knew loads about vaping. It just wasn't for us. It just wasn't, and you can't train that out of somebody once. They're like that. That's how they'll always be.
It's like the company I work for. Our motto is ethical selling. It's all about selling the right thing to the right person at the right time. And that person will appreciate that, and they'll come back. It's 10 times harder to make a new customer. Yeah. And if you make a new customer, they'll come back and back and back. And if you do it right every time, they'll come back and back and back. And if you do make a mistake, you rectify it correctly, they'll come back and back and back again. Yeah. Word of mouth is the best advertising.
We had a customer. We often get customers coming in and have a budget of £100. You say you need 30, you need 40, you don't need 100. They come in expecting they need a big sub-ohm mod. No, you don't. If you want to give up smoking, this is what you need. Then you don't need to spend anywhere near that sort of money.
I mean, we've all heard those horror stories of someone new to vaping walking into a shop and being upsold to a hog.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. We've heard that, and it's just like, why? Why would you do that?
We've had people come in the shop going, my mod's broken, I need to buy a new one. And we go, let's have a quick look at it. And we've repaired a few on site. It could be a dirty connection. We had somebody come in today with a G-Pod, and they said, I need a new one. This one's broken. And the first thing that we did was, let's have a little look. And we took their pod off. We put one of ours on. It fired straight away. Said it's coil and pod. So we give them a new coil, a new pod. I think the whole thing was about, £7 or £8. Job done. They were happy. No need to sell them if they don't need it. Someone else will come in and buy it when they do need it. So that's the way we are.
And that customer will just keep coming back and back and back because.
Well, our Google reviews reflect that. I mean, we haven't. Last time I looked, we were on about 85. It's quite a few more than most of our competitors, and we're quite proud of that. It's good.
Rightly so as well, Steve. Rightly so.
Long way to go though. Still early days for us. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet. I mean, the business model's good. Footfall will help. I am thinking quite strongly about going somewhere else as well as what we've got, but I'm not going to say where. But let's just say it's in a premium spot. So that's definitely on the cards as a possibility at some point next year. But before that, the shop next door, which we've got, is 100% going to be a coffee bar. It's going to be called rbar.bar, and we will have some CBD coffee, high-end coffees. It'll be a really nice, low-key, bit of opulence in there with some chandeliers and the Chesterfield sofa. No doubt I'll chuck some wood and some rust in there along the way, just to give it a bit of the Redemption vibe. But the two shops are interlinked, so we'll open it up. And it's an overhead that we're already got covered anyway. At the moment, we're currently only using it for storage, but because we've now built the clean room and the office and storage, it's freed up a bit of space. So a little bit more of being a bit shrewd of what we need and what we don't need. I'll be able to start on that this side of Christmas and hopefully be ready for early spring, if not a bit sooner.
I love that idea. I think vape shops, like the amount of times I walk into a vape shop and there's other vapors in there, and I can actually just sit in there for a good few hours and just chat and but if there's somewhere to sit down and have a coffee and
exactly,
do you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I love that part, and I think that's a huge aspect of vaping is the community. Again, we all know this is the community side of vaping. And if there's somewhere you can
as much as it's going to be under our brand, I think I'm going to play it by ear. I might make it so you can't actually vape in the coffee part, because I think a lot of non-vapers, locals, would like to probably come in and either get a takeaway or sit down one. And the fact that the shops are side by side and they're open, you could just literally walk out into the shop and vape anyway. So I don't really think there'll be a need to do that. And then because we've got a little bit of an outside, I would think in the summer that we'd be able to put some tables and chairs outside where I normally park my car, clean it up a little bit, get some lights and what have you, and who knows.
I'm really hoping my wife is watching, Steve, because my wife really loves her coffee. So you might well just got me in the shop a lot more.
It's really bizarre, because I am one of two members of my family that don't drink any hot drinks. So I've never had a tea or coffee in my life. So it's a bit bizarre that it's an area that I've wanted to look into when it's something that I wouldn't personally drink myself.
That's kind of like a smoker owning a vape shop, Steve.
It is a bit, really, isn't it? But I think it would be nice. Hi, Nathan.
Hey, Rabbit.
Hey,
That's Rabbit, who used to be one of the presenters who's on the expo with you, Steve.
Oh, nice one. Hey, talking of expo, I'm a bit gutted. It feels so long since we've done one. It was long. God, how long? It was October, wasn't it?
Just over a year ago.
Do you know what?
Just over a year. I think it'll be next October before we see one. It's definitely not going to happen in May.
I don't think we'll get one next October. I'm being honest here.
Do you not think so? Wow.
That's a bit disheartening. I know. I'm such one of those people. Every time I say it, it's like, I feel bad saying it because it just puts me. But I honestly don't think we'll get one in October either.
Right. Talking of expos and the likes of things like that, do you know what I'd like to see happen? In the early days, even before I wanted to make vaping into a business, I liked things like Vape Jam and Vape Fest. And even the local ones that the lads did up in Doncaster, I only managed to do the last one they did. I never went to the first one. That was the very first, if you like, expo that we did. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know whether it's because it was the first one I ever did, but do you know what? For a couple of days, we had our own little stall there. And we did quite a bit of business. It wasn't to be shook at. And I really liked that thing. I just wish that somebody would bring back the Vape Fest. Let's think about
it. Was a nice vibe though, Steve. That local one at Doncaster, with it being outdoors and everything, the vibe was really nice there, and everyone was just chilled out, and sitting all over the place.
Yeah. We had a really nice stream because my friend Dave.
I've never actually been to
but you know, it's just
Yeah, I've never
the
actually been
trouble
to
is
one.
with
Other than...
expos is expos are brilliant for exposure, but you need to be a big brand with a lot of money, and most of the ones that have made it, that start small, have made it, and fair play to them. You know, I've got a lot of respect for them. They've got massive budgets. You know, they can spend 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand. It doesn't matter to them because, you know, they've got a massive advertising budgets. But if you look at a company like ours, who are very young still and haven't got those sort of budgets, you know, you would need at a minimum 10, 12 grand with expenses and a small store to make it work, and you never get that money back. Yeah, I mean, and I just think that somebody ought to take control of doing something for the people that can't quite get there, you know, to give them, because there's some fantastic brands out there who make some fantastic liquid that are as good, if not better, than some of the major big brands.
You know, this is the whole reason we did our expo last time. You know, it was the whole point. It was supposed to be, let's get some companies on here, let's get them a little bit of exposure, the exposure that we can give. You know, we're not promising you that thousands of people are going to watch it, but let's try and I think what you were saying, that whole, I mean, obviously I live nowhere near Doncaster.
Cheers, Alan.
I'm miles away. But like, almost like you said, almost like glorified vape meets where they're on for a whole day and companies come down, and it's just almost, it's cheap and easy to do it and everyone gets to have a good time, you know, but it's getting the people to turn up, I suppose, which is the thing.
Yeah. I've got a new product in the pipeline that's going to come out. It won't be this side of Christmas. We're working on it currently, but basically every single flavour that's in the Redemption brand, the original flavours, the 20 odd that we've got, because we've obviously bought out a sub brand called Simply So, which is a value range. They're less complex, you know, they're good value for money, retail at £5, and we've got a customer base for that, you know, and that's absolutely fine. You know, some people don't want to spend £8.99 for one, or 2 for 15, or 3 for 20. They just want to come in with a £5 note, buy a bottle of juice, they can vape. So that's fine. So we've catered for that market. But going back to the Redemption flavours, every single one of those flavours is going to be available early part of next year in a 60ml shot form. So you'll get a it'll be in a, you know, the 120ml bottles. Yeah, they're going to be half that size. They're going to be stubby. So they'll be the same width as a 120, half the size. It will have the preset amount of concentrate and premix in it. You'll add 4 nic shots into it. So we haven't finished the calculations, but they'll come out somewhere near 15 milligram, I would have thought. And they're going to be available in a little shop. So that'll be quite cool. Looking forward to that. But what's going to make them especially nice is that none of them are going to contain coil burning sucralose. They will be absolutely 100% sucralose free, including the concentrates and the sweetener that we use in it. The sweetener that we're using in it is 5 times more expensive. I think it costs us over £100 a litre to use this stuff, but it's amazing. The sweetness level on it is brilliant without any degradation to coils. So that's going to be perfect for salt devices.
That sounds amazing, Steve. That actually sounds like a really, really good idea. It is. Wow. Yeah.
So, you know, it's just something that's definitely going to happen. We're having the design work done on it now. We're having to tweak. Some of the flavour ratio slightly to get the taste that we want. But yeah, it's working well. I've been on the blue side for a month or so now, and I'm loving it. It's really, really good. So there'll be some cracking flavours in there. So that'll be something nice to look forward to. Website's being updated as we speak. It will have our Simply So range on there. I think early to middle part of next week. So yeah, it's coming on nicely now. We've changed some of the payment options as well on the website. The commerce site that we use in the back door have given us further payment options. So now we can take payments over the phone. We can do bank transfers because the PayPal thing's all going to go to shit very soon. Yeah, I mean, we're lucky. We've not had any issues yet, but it's going to happen. I just want to make sure that we've got everything in place for when they pull the plug.
seriously, the PayPal are the biggest rip-off
Robbing
merchants.
bastards anyway, to be fair.
The biggest rip-off merchants, maybe apart from banks on the fucking planet.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, they really are.
We're about
So-
to change our payment system. Our transaction charges are too high. We've been offered an extremely good deal, the best deal on the planet. So we're going to be shifting over soon. But it was one of the key things for me was that we could still retain our POS system because the guys have spent weeks and weeks and weeks building it up. Everything that we sell now has got barcodes on, which has meant a complete redesign for us. We've got all our best before dates, our batch dates on it, our barcodes on it. So it means now when we wholesale, it's easy, for whoever's buying it, they can just get scanned straight into their system. Whereby in the old days, we had no barcode, and it was like I would imagine that they were just having to put them through manually. So we're just trying to become a little bit more efficient.
Fair enough.
Just to answer the chat, we're getting a lot of questions. We'll give you a chance to ask
I can't
Steve
see
some
any
questions at the
by
end.
way.
So
I'm not ignoring anybody. If anyone's asked me something, I've not seen it. I've had about 2 flashes.
Steve, we'll bring them up. We do a questions from the chat section in a bit. So
Yeah.
do you know what? If the questions are going mental, should we just bring in questions from the chat now? And we'll just
We could do.
We'll just push the
do,
call
yeah.
back a bit. So I think we should do that. So again, I haven't spent loads of time on these bumpers to not be used. So so let's do some let's do some questions from the chat. So we'll do some questions from the chat. Guys, if you've got any questions for Steve or any of us or anything, just now's the time. We've got a bit of time. We'll bring them up. We'll answer the questions. Don't make them too complex. Don't make them too personal.
By the way, before you start that, I've got something for you to give away to any of your listeners. I have fabulous snapbacks.
Oh yes.
These I'm really proud of these. I can't tell you the lengths I went to get these sorted, but they are 3D embroidered. That has the skull on it.
I need to change the bumper for that. Hold on.
That's on the back.
I mean, I've seen Vinny's of that. I know Vinny got it just for the last the expo that we did. And
one of our 900 by 400 banking.
Oh, Steve!
Look at that! Look at that!
Oh, we free shit flappy doodle with a twitching lot.
So I didn't come empty-handed.
Steve,
So
I'll pop in.
I will post these out at our cost to whoever you decide wants to have them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you my address later, Steve.
I know your address.
I tell you what, right? I can't see the chat. All I can see is the numbers of chats that are coming up, and I tell you what, it's all of a sudden popping. It's just... Should we just pick someone at random in a bit? We'll just pick someone at random in a bit for them to go to. Guys, I think if you want one of those awesome Redemption Vape hats and a build mat, are we giving it to the same person? Give it to the same person. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Give it to the same. Guys, if you want one, you just need to type "I want that free shit" in the chat.
It's not even Free Shit Friday.
It's not even Free Shit Friday, but just
that's next week.
You just need to type in "I want that free shit," and in a bit we'll let.
I haven't heard that word since Expo.
So our show got a bit of a redesign the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and so we do a guest on one Friday, and then next week is Free Shit Friday, where we reward somebody something. So So we've got a little bonus. Do you know I'm going to play the bumper? Fuck it.
Yeah.
YouTube chat has literally just lit up with everything on.
We are going back to questions from the chat, but if you want, guys,
If you want my free shit.
if you want that awesome hat and that awesome bit of mat, again, type in "I want that free shit," and
Hey,
we'll
Vinny,
go
we
back.
should have done something there where I'd gone like that and chucked it, and then you picked it up off your head.
Just type in "I want that free shit." Steve, thank you very much. It's
No worries.
awesome,
No
and
worries.
someone's going to get an awesome hat. I'm not denying. Do you know what? I might just going to have to buy one in a minute if you've still got some. So
Yeah.
That film, that looks cool.
By the way, they're limited edition. We only had 100 of them made, so
oh. And
once they're gone, the next ones will be different.
I know you've only got 99 left because I can see one on Vinny's fat head. So, and if it fits Vinny's head, you
Amazing could actually make one big
I
enough.
think actually we've only got about 10 or 15 left.
There we go.
Most of them.
So
Yeah.
in a minute we'll go back after we've done questions from the chat. So type in "I want that free shit." We'll check it back. We'll pick someone at random. We'll let Steve pick someone at random.
No, don't let me pick.
So I'll start.
No. I've given it to you. You got to pick.
All right,
Okay.
Chris can pick someone at random in a bit. But guys, back to questions from the chat. Anybody got any questions for any of us? Steve, like I said, don't make it too personal. We're just gonna lose all that.
I'll go try find some because there was loads early on. One question was about the sweeteners, Steve. Obviously, you've answered that about the salts. What about your normal ranges with sweetener wires?
Don't know. So I'm considering it, and there's a very strong possibility that we will do it. It's all down to cost because it's going to add a fair old amount in, and I don't want to be putting my prices up. In fact, actually, during lockdown, because none of us saw it coming, we got caught short on VG, and our prices went up incredible. Of which obviously we didn't pass any of that on. I don't think anybody did, but we could at some point touch on the subject about the greedy people who held a lot of people to ransom, and there are a couple of suppliers that we don't deal with now, and I'm sure many other companies like us won't either, because basically they sold out to the companies that wanted to manufacture hand sanitizer. I'm on about bottles, not so much the raw ingredients. And suddenly you couldn't order your 4,000, 10,000 bottles in small amounts because they'd been sold by the millions to manufacturing companies. Now that's fine, I guess, in the short term, but in the long term, now these companies are coming back to us and say, "Why aren't you buying from us?" Well, the answer's simple: you weren't able to service our needs in the time of need, therefore, and other people did, and they're the people that we'll continue to do business with.
Loyalty's a huge thing, and if people just put away your business to somebody else because they might have a better offer, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know business is business, but
Alan's just asked a question there. How hard has it been for you, Steve, from the start till now, coping with getting the shop, etc.? Very difficult. I'll be honest with you. Anybody that thinks they can come into the game with very little money and not a lot of effort will be surprised. I came into the business with very little money at the beginning. I sold a lot of my assets, things that meant things to me. Well, it meant things to me at the time, but clearly my ambition to try and come into the industry was greater. And I was fortunate insofar that when my money ran out, when my savings ran out, my business partner came to me and said, "Look, I can see where you're going, and I'd like to jump in with you." But then, it goes further than that you know, and the amount of investment that's gone into our company now, you could buy a really nice house, a really nice car, you know. I mean, I went through a separation a couple of years ago, and I put all my house money in further to it. So, you know, it takes a lot of investment, and then you've got to think, well, you know, what you're going to do for wages. I subsidised my business by having a full-time job as well for 18 months. So I was working 7 days a week. I was working away from home. You know, I had Connor running the shop. I carried on my business doing a project manager, you know, just because I couldn't afford to take any money out of the business. And if I had done, then we wouldn't be here now. So yeah, it's been hard work. But you know, I've been in this full time now for probably 14 months, and it's where my heart is. You know, I really enjoy it. But it is hard work. You know, it's very rare I'll take a day off. It's still pretty much 7 days a week. I don't have to work 7 days a week. I just choose to. But you know, more often than not, I'll go in, you know, mid-morning, sometimes as late as 10 o'clock. And sometimes by 2 or 3 o'clock, I might have had enough for the day, you know, because the guys have got everything under control. So, you know, I'm lucky now insofar that I can pick and choose what time that I need to put into it. You know, it could be we've got a production run to do. It could be we've got labeling to do. It could be, you know, we've got stock to sort out. But, you know, it's easier for me now, but there's still a lot to do. You know, as soon as all the jobs are up to date, it'll be onto the coffee shop. As soon as that's up to date, no doubt there'll be something else I need to do. So it's commitment, and I'll always have plenty of that. So, but I look at the bigger picture. You know, it's not what's in the short term, but you know, we're here to stay. There's no doubt about it. We've ridden out a few rough times, and I think now we'll be fine. We've got great support, and without our customers, we wouldn't have had that. So yeah, great question. Thanks for asking.
And there's your next one, Steve.
Yeah, what's the most difficult flavour profile to make? Lemon tart, probably, or lemon pie. The base was difficult to get right. There's probably 9 ingredients in our lemon pie. But my forte is more in fruits than it is in desserts. It's very hard for me because I don't generally speak in vape desserts myself. You know, I like things that are cold. I like things that are fruity. Because quite a lot of our juices contain brain freeze, which is a mixture of different sorts of cooladas, 3 different sorts actually. I've got a good understanding of how much to use now. We could probably push it a bit harder, but obviously not everybody's palate is the same as mine. And you know,
and it's bloody cold. It is really, really cold.
You've got to
really
be careful
cold.
using it because you can quite often mute fruits quite easily using it. But you know, I've even tried it with tobaccos and found it quite pleasant. You know, but obviously I don't think commercially it'd work. We've had flops. I mean, I've got really nice rhubarb gin and tonic, and I think it's quite authentic. But you know, people just don't get it, and that's fine. You know, taste is subjective. So we'll probably be dropping that after you know, our current stock has gone. But that's what happens, you know. It'll be the same for every other company. You know, you bring out a range of flavors, some will be popular, some won't, you know, won't be. But you know, most of what we've got now, you know, from the very beginning, we've still got, you know, the likes of Love Bites, Bango Boom, you know, Naughty None. You know, they're all still there because they still sell. So
I love the names, Steve. The names you come up with are banging for your juices.
yeah, Skinny Dipper is picking up pace. It's really nice, lovely raspberry lychee, little bit of hidden pomegranate in there, and another ingredient. But yeah, it's lovely. It's really sweet, and it hasn't got a lot of sweetener in it. I mean, that was one of the things originally when we started. I didn't want to add a lot of sweetener in. You know, you can make a crap juice half decent just by adding a ton of sweetener, but yeah, no, we don't do that. But yes, you know, the the sweetener thing is something that's key, because coils aren't cheap. People don't want to be changing their coils every few days. So definitely, yeah, we would like to think we could strip out sucralose at some point next year. But I need to negotiate a better price on some of the ingredients to allow me to do that commercially.
That would be, yeah. Because I know a lot of people are actually allergic to sucrose as well. So
yeah. Just on the thought of that, we have a customer that came in the shop. She had been suffering badly with vaping. She stopped smoking, but it turns out that she was allergic to PG. So she said, "Is there anything that you can do?" And it's quite difficult because most of the flavor concentrates are PG based. So I said we could reduce it down. I mean, some concentrates are stronger than others. I said, we might be able to get it down to, as little as 5%, possibly even 4%, depending on what flavor that you're prepared to vape. I said, but stripping it all together will probably be difficult. But anyway, I saw it as a challenge, and we got in contact with a company who can supply VG-based concentrates. And although from a commercial point of view, it wasn't going to be very viable for us to do this for her, we did it. And it's 100%, it's 100%, it's not 100% VG, but it's got no PG in it. We thin it out slightly using some distilled water to replace the PG. But actually the flavour's amazing. So she's really happy, and it's sorted out her problems. She was getting sick, she was getting rashes, she was getting bad migraines. So we mixed up some test samples for her to test, and she came back and said she had absolutely no issues whatsoever. So that clearly is the problem. I said, if this doesn't work, I said it's not vaping that's giving you the issues, or if it is, you need to stop vaping. And anyway, she came back and said had no issues whatsoever. She's got through, I think, about 200 ml of juice we've made for her with no issues. So we will continue to make that one customer juice because we can.
Amazing. That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's your next question, Steve.
How do you test your flavour profiles and choose what to? I can't say any more than that.
Release to the public, Steve.
Oh, I didn't see that bit. Actually, it's quite simple. In the early days, we put a lot out to market research. Now I just made the decision myself. If I think I like it and I think it will sell, it goes. I don't really ask anyone else's opinion. Maybe I should do, really, to be fair. That's probably why, if I'd done exactly what I should have been doing with our rhubarb gin and tonic, I probably wouldn't have ever put it through production. So yeah, I do make mistakes. I mean, for every one we bring out, there's probably 4 that didn't make the benchmark. I mean, I've been working on a line called Sinister. We've had on paper everything should work, and this has been ongoing for about 18 months, and I just keep hitting a brick wall with it. We've had all the artwork done. I've tried 50 different flavor profiles, and I just can't seem to nail it. So I've had to park it. The branding is awesome. It's probably the best we've ever done, but I just can't do anything with it, and I'm not prepared to bin it. I will revisit it, but so sometimes you do hit a wall, and sometimes you get sick of doing it. You just need a break from it all.
And the next question from Nasty Coil Steve is, what pudding profiles do you have?
Pudding profiles? Not an awful lot, to be fair.
Because he doesn't like puddings.
No, I don't.
I think we're going to work on that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to work on that.
You see, I've got a really good pie base. It's quite complex. The lemon pie is absolutely awesome. I think that stands up to absolutely anything that's on the market. It's that good. And if I could enter it in for an award and it was blind tasted, I think it would get somebody's attention. It's lovely, and it smells amazing as well.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm a huge lemon fan when it comes to vapes, but There are so many out there that are
There
bad
are, absolutely.
and just taste like the smell of toilet duck.
Oh god,
I've tasted far too many that are bad, and the ones that are good are outstanding. They really are. I haven't actually tried yours, Steve. I'm gonna have to come and order a bottle because
Well, I'll gladly send you a sample.
Vinny always bangs on about. Oh, I'll buy one. Don't worry about that. Like do you know what I mean? It's fine.
Yeah.
I'd rather give the money than not. Do you know what I mean? So, but
I would like to bring
lemon's
out another
really
one
hard.
or two desserts, but I'll be honest with you, desserts aren't commercially that brilliant for us. Like I said, out of all the flavors we do, I would say that is number 2, second to Blue Side in terms of flavor delivery. But it's probably, God, it wouldn't even make the top 10 in sales, and it should do. But I just don't think there's enough dessert vapors out there.
I think dessert vapors are the kind of vapors that are actually been vaping a long time. I think you come to desserts later into vaping than you do. Like fruits are so easy to get into.
And would I be right?
Flavors.
Would I be right in saying also that they're probably more bent towards a mech than a mod?
Yeah. I would say that a lot of desserts work better in like an RDA, like high power, like definitely high power, low ohmage.
Yeah.
Like, and then you get the flavour out of them. A lot of them seem quite muted at low power. Saying that, I mean, I'm vaping this this Humble Crumble at what, 43 watts?
Yeah.
And it tastes phenomenal. And then I've got the Sugar Cookie, 45 watts. So that's really low for me. I'm sorry, just throwing a can into the bin. By the way, it went in, just so you know.
That's a good question. How did the name Redemption come about? It's an interesting question. I've been asked that once or twice. It was all about really sort of a spin on the word, really, about redeeming yourself off smoking and getting into vaping. And there used to be, in the 80s, there used to be a video brand called Salvation, and he used to make these sort of quite dark B movies, and it'd have like, well, you'd have to research it. I don't think there's any point in talking about it on here, but they were a little bit dark, but I liked it. It's part of my life, when in my 20s, and I love these sort of badly made films that had got nuns and witches, and it was all very dark, loads of blood and lust and all that sort of thing in it. And I kind of got thinking about that, and then I sort of, Salvation, Redemption, and then I thought, well, that quite work. That would work for me, and I've always liked skulls, and I just thought, redeem yourself off smoking, and then we've got a hashtag, redeem your senses, through taste, smell of the juices and stuff like that. So definitely that's where Redemption came from. So yeah.
Great idea, great name. I love the name.
One of my
favourite. I remember Nick. Yes, Nick, I remember you, mate.
Because one of my favourite RDAs is the Redemption, so from Immortal. So it's kind of works for me both ways.
But obviously, that's one of the reasons why I'm quite interested in sub brands, because we want to limit the amount of Redemption flavour profiles, so they become sort of part of the original Redemption classic flavours, if you like, and then we'll move into other areas. I'm obviously Simply Sober based on, Sinister will be really nice. 5 flavours of which I think 2 will probably be desserts. They'll be in 120ml bottles when I can nail the flavour profiles. And there may well be, some Salvation, Retribution, all spins in those sort of little dark ways. And it gives us an opportunity to experiment with other visuals as well. So I'm always trying to think one step ahead. But I need to get all these other little projects finished, because there's always something to do. We've done a lot of production since March. There's always been something to do. then we've done the salts. So next will be the coffee shop when that's all done, and I'm, running around like a headless chicken. That will be when we could, do other things. I mean, the next big move for me would be to get a business development manager, so we can expand the business further into the wholesale and maybe internationally. I mean, there's a few shops around the UK that stock our gear, which is nice, and we're grateful for that. But someone else could do a much better job than me. I'm not really not really a salesperson.
I was going to say, I know you've got a question there from Scott. So you talk about maybe going internationally, and that sort of brings the question up to how your juices are made and how they're tested.
Yeah.
Obviously, that comes up a few times. There's some companies out there we know do very little.
Mm-hmm.
And as I heard you say earlier, you've got your own clean rooms. So obviously you're extremely passionate about getting the juices right and making sure they are actually correct rather than someone just going. So if you went international, right. If you went into, obviously there's certain tests to get into certain countries. Would you pay for those tests?
Yeah,
if you were quite happy?
Absolutely. It depends what the capital investment would be. I mean, I know people are trying to break into Dubai now and parts of America. No legislation, and you're talking of tens of thousands of pounds. So absolutely not at the moment. No chance. It just couldn't happen. Unless somebody wanted to, put in a load of investment and take on a big commitment. I mean, the next big investment for us will be a fully automated line, but that kind of leads me into where we want to be in the next premises, because we haven't got the room for that now. I mean, we did our clean room on a budget. The fans were expensive, as you can imagine. They run into a lot of money.
I've worked in clean rooms. I know how expensive they get.
Yeah,
so.
But we actually built the clean room ourselves, because I obviously come originally from a shop fitting background. We took as much of the clout out of it as we could. But no, that was a fantastic project to get involved in right at the beginning of lockdown. It was almost like a godsend. It was just right. This is the right time. We can close the doors. We can pull everything out of the way. We can still do our home deliveries and stuff without, creating any trip hazards for anybody in the shop. So timing for us was absolutely perfect. It worked really well for us.
And just want to apologise to Scott. Sorry, Scott, I didn't mean to interrupt your question that was put up. we are going to move on from questions from the chat in a minute, and that means that Chris can pick a winner over there. So. And,
look at him, he's just like a rabbit in the headlights. I've got to pick a winner.
For that awesome snapback that Vinny's modelling.
No, I've been looking for
I
it.
think I missed a question off Scott where you said something about.
Can we just put that question back up? We'll answer that question and then we'll
give me
move
a
on,
second.
it was put up. Sorry, Vinny. Thanks, buddy. I know you're on your laptop and life's shit for you right now on that laptop. I'm going to be doing it, but I'm doing other things in the background. So.
There we go.
Do you produce and aim your liquid more for sub-ohm market when in the testing stage, or do you think of the mech users? I'll be honest with you, I don't really think of the mech users, so I suppose the answer to that ought to be yes for sub-ohm. Absolutely. I'm not saying that's the right thing, but I've never really been a mech user. I've got a mech. I've got a really nice mech, actually. But I've never really been a mech user, so I think in the back of my head I am always thinking for sub-ohm. I think if I'm honest, I'd need to be. I know that the mech market is massive. I think most of our liquids are okay for mechs. I think some of the really cold ones probably aren't. When we was at Doncaster, some guy actually vaped our brain freeze concentrate on a mech. It wasn't even a cold. He was on the floor. Someone's got a video of it. This guy was on the floor. I said, "Don't do this." He said, "I want to do it." So he squirted a good dollop of concentrate brain freeze onto his mech and took a lungful that put him onto the floor. It was nuts. Someone's got a video of him doing it. It was really fun.
It definitely differs. I mean, I've
That's
actually,
really
since I've pretty much pretty much started vaping, I got into vaping and quite quickly went to mechanical mods, and it's only recently I've sort of switched back. I mean, these guys will tell you, like, I'm usually super low build, fucking boom boom boom, like smash it out. But I've changed recently. I'm on like the RTA, so the tripod, and I'll tell you what, this little thing's awesome. The Cree, just vaping this tonight, first tankful, flavour's great, but like 45, 50 watts. And I like cold liquids, but I don't like to vape cold liquids too much on a mech. But there are different. It's almost like you could almost do like a mech line and an RTA line of a juice. Does that make sense? Like, I know that sounds crazy, but you could also go, right, if you want that flavour, this is what you put in a mech. If you want that flavour, this is what you put in a sub-ohm or an RTA. But if you can get that flavour right on an RTA, then it's going to be, generally, it's going to be good in a mech or an RTA. Or like,
I mean, don't
RDA
you
or
mech
an
users prefer 80-20?
70-30 is pretty much the standard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a few 80-20 out there, and I saw the other day I was gonna a juice that I really like is by a company called Smacks. It's one that Green really likes, called Pony on Acid, and I was gonna buy some the other day and I realised it was 90-10.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not gonna work in an RTA for me. Do you know what I mean?
No way, you won't be able to wick it, will you?
Like, it's just gonna be. I'm gonna have to thin the wicks out so much. It's just not gonna work. So I didn't buy it, but yeah, it's almost like you could almost have like the same juice, but in two different, like they're almost rebalanced. It's kind of weird, I suppose. Like, this is what you use in an RDA or an RTA, and this is what you use in a sub-ohm. But if you can get the flavors right on a sub-ohm, I think the flavor in an RDA is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yes, that was a good question. That I like that question.
Anyway, I think we're going to move on because we're going to move on to the cool
Cool.
I know, Steve, this is our new sort of layout. So we do every week now. We bring up a few products, and we stole it from Top Gear because how, wouldn't we? So we do the call. So we're going to go a few products, and we're going to just discuss them and see if we think they're. We have 3 categories because we couldn't do 5. So we've got uncool, cool, or Andy Bohane Sub-Zero. That's the way it works. and so we're going to move on to the cool. If that's okay for everybody? Everyone's cool?
Sounds good to
me.
Yep.
Cool, let's do it. Where's the cool bumper gone? Who's been playing on my shit? Who's been playing on my shit?
I haven't touched any of it.
So this week the cool suggestions are given to us by Mr. Attacker himself. We probably need to let the guests do this when the guests come on, don't they? We probably give them some notice. So Paul's picked 5 products this evening, and I'm gonna let Paul. I'll put the pictures up. Paul, you'll have to introduce them. Can you remember what they are?
Okay.
Right. I'll introduce them. There's only one you have to put a little caveat on with the the picture. So, because I forgot to put it on, so you can put it on. So, we'll start off. So we're gonna get. So some of them are new products. So we'll wait to see if they're cool or not. So, where do you want me to start, Paul? Do you want me to start with that RDA you put up?
Yeah, start with the new one.
All right. Okay. So the first product in the call this evening would be the. It's Vandy Vape, isn't it?
It is a Vandy Vape.
It's Vandy Vape. So the first one would be the Vandy Vape Requiem. Or Requiem.
Well, like that.
Requiem.
Requiem.
So that's the first product. So this is quite unique, isn't it?
It is. It's a 22mm RDA, which has a butyrine to make it 24, but it looks like it's aimed at soul users as well, because it is a nice little single coil jobby, and I actually think that deck looks really, really smart.
I mean, so I didn't get the picture of the deck. I'm sorry. I know you sent it to me, but I only put the one in. I said I had it all sorted, and I was being slack. Sorry, I was doing it late last night, and it's been a weird day. But yeah, if anyone's seen it, it's like, I'll put the picture back up again. So. as you can probably see,
Paul
it's got-
showing the.
It's
Yeah.
got the separate barrel, and it's got this dowering piece. But these dowerings are reducers, and you get 3 dowering pieces that gives you different drip tip sizes and different reducer sizes. And I was going to say, looking at that does not look like it's made by Vandy Vape at all.
Doesn't it?
No, it looks like a really premium finish on it. To be fair, and I do like using salts. I'm not always on the Mac, but finding a decent salt RTA is pretty impossible unless you want to spend big money. So I think that should go in the Sub-Zero section.
You go for something if you've not even tried it, and you go, yeah, it's squonkable.
But it's Vandy Vape. You know the quality is not going to be there.
But mate, look at the picture.
That's a render though. That's not the actual product.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll give you it this way. It looks as good as the new Purge XR here in the photos.
He's on another level though.
Yeah, I think that.
And in all honesty, we probably know they come out of the same factory.
I mean, I bet you can't.
Sorry. Right. So, I mean, obviously, I've not managed to try it yet. I might just buy one to try it because they're not expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. You know, the fact is, it's something new, and it's cheap.
It's not really new. It's kind of been done before, but I'm going to vote it as cool. I'm not going to go Sub-Zero because I've not tried it.
Okay, we'll have to get one and try it then and compare.
I'm going to go cool. I'm going to go cool.
We may have to revisit that once we've bought them.
Yeah, anyone got any thoughts on that? The way, so yeah, it's got 3 different down and top pieces. You get different airflows, different.
My only concern is the manufacturer of it.
Well, you don't know.
As much as I like single coils, I'm going to say uncool because it just sounds gimmicky with all the rings.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So right, we're going to go right. Hands up for uncool. Steve, Vinny, hands up for cool.
Go on then.
Hands up for Sub-Zero. It's a 50-50 split.
That makes it uncool then.
It's the first thing we can't decide on. It's a revisit. It's a revisit. It's got to be a revisit because that's.
I was voting cool.
You were voting cool, were you?
Oh, Mr. Lag up there, look. He was voting cool.
Oh, it goes. It's cool. It's
I just like
what are you drinking, Steve? What are you drinking?
I've got a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, he's a classy
Friday night
bird,
special.
isn't he? He's a classy bird.
All crusty. When I go out and drink with my mates, they drink beer and I drink wine. They say, "Hey, woman." I love my wine.
That's a real beer. Look, you can't see through it.
Grief.
Right.
That looks like a urine sample that's got a UTI.
Well, I'll tell you what. If a urine sample that's got a UTI tastes as good as that, then fuck it, it's free and I'll drink it.
Josh will be the biohazard removal expert.
We'll move on to the next one. I'm going to move on to the. See, you put this picture up to me, and you said it was the version 1.5, and I think it's, and the picture you sent me is definitely what I would call the boost.
Nope, that is definitely the 1.5.
Well, okay, I'll put it up. So it's the according to Paul, this is the Asmodus Minikin V1.5.
Yes.
That sounds like it's 10 years old.
It is quite
It
old.
looks like it's about 20.
We do all products. We don't just do new products. We do all
They're
products.
up to V3 now, aren't they?
Yeah.
I bought those before they even came out and had them nicked at Expo.
Yeah, you got I remember that, Steve.
That's when they came out, wasn't it? It was last October.
Yeah, you bought all the stock off them, didn't you?
Yeah, and then some bastard nicked them from underneath the table.
I'm going to let you discuss this just for a second. I'll be right back.
Well, the one good thing is it says Asmodus. I'll give you that, Paul, because it's going to be quality.
It will.
Yes. That's why I chose the 1.5 over the original one, because there was a lot of contention with that one, wasn't there? Between, was it Weehee Weehy and Asmodus.
Yeah, with the chip.
Yeah, because obviously we made it for them, and then they had a bit of a Barney, but they still released the fake version of the Minikin. So, yeah, that's why I went for the 1.5, because it had that bit of an extra power boost as well. It went to 150 as opposed to 120, and to be fair, it looks the tits. That red, oof, love that mod.
I'm not sold, Paul, on that particular model myself. I like the one after it because it was a bit more ergonomical.
What, the V2?
Yeah.
See, now the V2, I really like that, but the touchscreen was terrible.
Yes, it was. The V3, the V3 touchscreen isn't much better though either.
No, it's not. And that's why I didn't go for the V2 purely for that. Even though I do like the shape of the V2.
Yeah, the V2 shape is really nice in the hand. Yeah. Really nice.
Except for the fact that if you're holding it at all, the screen will unlock and it will change you to 150 watts and blow your face off.
You're struggling with the selling chat. I'll tell you that. There's more going against it than for it right now.
Yeah, because they all like mechs.
Do you know one of the best mods I think they ever bought out is the original Snowwolf, the stainless steel one with the glass front and back on?
Yes, that was actually really good.
I've still got 3 of them kicking around somewhere. Love them.
Solid mod then.
Right, so what's the general consensus on the Minikin 1.5?
In the chat, it's not cool.
Okay.
Cool.
2 people have said it's not cool. Shane says it's old but cool.
See, the only downside for me is the touchscreen.
That's not a touchscreen,
isn't it? Oh,
no,
fuck
it's got buttons on the
that
side.
one wasn't.
In that case, it's fucking Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right. Not. We're gonna vote on it.
We'll vote on it. So, uncool, cool, Sub-Zero. Chris, are you going Sub-Zero or are you going cool? Because
I said uncool.
You said uncool.
Uncool.
Yes.
What?
3 uncools.
I don't
know. He doesn't count because he's too laggy.
3 uncools.
No, you went. Did you go uncool? Right, uncool. So sorry, Paul. It's uncool. Chris, sorry,
because
Chris.
That guy's stupid, massive sausage hands and can't hold things properly.
Right, okay. Well, because believe it or not, we're nowhere near through the show. We're almost up to our time, so.
Yeah.
Next one.
Let's do the next one. You want me to do the mech?
Yeah. Do the mech one.
Okay, so you need to give credit for the photos, and actually say what it is because I cannot pronounce this for shit. I know the brand, but I can't pronounce the fucking actual name of it for shit. So I'll let Paul describe this one to you.
So this one was the picture was kindly donated by my buddy, Mr. David Demerit, aka the Cali Reaper. It's the new Deathwish mod V4 stack called the Libertatum Infernum. And it's basically got the Statue of Liberty with a skull face holding an upside down cross, which is just fucking awesome. I think that is just Deathwish back to how they should be making things, and it's sick as fuck. That's a level above Sub-Zero.
I'll give my thoughts on it right now. Here you go. It's another Deathwish tube with a different design on it. It's the same thing, different fucking day. Same as fucking Rogue. Same as a few other companies. It's the same tube with different fucking design on it. No thought. Don't give a fuck. Not worried about innovation. It is fucking uncool. Uncool.
Well, this is where you're wrong, because it has not got the same switch as the original Deathwish V2 tubes, which was really popular. It's certainly not got the terrible switch that was on the V3 Suicide King. It's now a complete rework on the switch itself, so it actually works, for one. It's got the solid silver contacts again, so that's better. It's got 28mm RDA up top. What's there not to like about that? And it takes real batteries now, officially.
Real battery. So it takes a 21. Takes a man battery and a
It's a
21.
man battery. So
Well, I
me,
think you know where I'm
that's
going to
why-
go with that.
That's why I think that Death Wish have really pulled it out of the bag with that one. They've gone back to their old sort of looks and designs. They've not rehashed anything on this one. And it's got the better switch. A new switch.
Okay, all right. So, guys,
He's trying to sell it, isn't he? He's really trying to sell it.
I think it's awesome.
Just remind us, Paul, what team are you captain of?
At the moment, when I'm on LXV, I'm not a captain for
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Yes.
which is why I'm not in my immortal regalia. I am using an
What's in
immortal.
your hand right now?
he wants to be a reaper.
Never.
Sorry, I couldn't resist, Paul.
So,
I couldn't
so
resist.
we're talking team bullshit now.
Yeah.
I know this isn't really Steve's thing. So,
Well, I'll pass a comment. I mean, okay, I don't know a lot about mechs. I think it kind of looks cool. I don't think it's the best mech on the market. I think I own one of the best mechs on the planet.
I want to know what that is. I want to know what that is.
I could run upstairs and find it and show you to it. But the one I've got is engineered and it's British made.
Is it a Morningstar?
No, it's an Addison's Innovation Mercy. It's so well engineered. The button.
You got a Mercy, Steve, did you?
I have, yeah.
I had the Blood Axe.
Designed made by the late Liam Addison. Brilliant. Brilliant bit of kit. I'll never let go of that. I just love looking at it. Every now and then I just get it out and strip it down. The engineering behind it is just fantastic. The button, it's fluted. It's just got everything a mech should have. You know, that's the only mech I own. It's the only one I'll probably ever own. But, you know, I just love looking at the thing. It's just beautiful. And such a nice weight to it. It's a beautiful bit of kit.
They were very nice. Those very limited numbers as well.
Yeah. I think mine's number 9 from my memory. But
Nice.
nice
Nice
bit of
rare
kit.
bit of kit.
Yeah.
Right, are we going to have a vote on Paul's suggestion?
We're gonna have a vote on the Death Witch clitoris fest, whatever it was called. Uncle. I'm going for Uncle.
I'm going to go cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who's going cool?
I'm
going
going cool purely on looks.
We'll give Chris 5 minutes to catch up because he is good.
I think it's frozen completely now.
Literally, I'm going to call him Elsa from now on.
Can't we just let him go?
Right, so whatever it is, it firmly goes in the cool category. So
Yeah,
there
definitely.
we go. All
Yeah.
fair enough. Goes in the cool category.
Someone's put some work into it.
We've got 2 more. Would you like me to go with the mod or the tank next? I think we go with the tank next just to break things up.
Go for the tanks, not a bit different.
Okay, so we're going a bit old school here. But it's still classic to this day, I think, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going with the OG Aspire Cleto.
Oh dear.
Yeah, 120.
The Cleto. Oh, the
Yes.
Cleto 120. The Cleto 120. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Better than the 120 Pro.
Sure.
The 120 Pro suck.
It does. You
To
keep
be
losing
fair,
the rings on.
anything they made after the OG Crypto 120 sucks. Sadly, I think that had the best mix of the coils were great. The Spire make really good coils.
They do.
It's a fact. And it had a massive juice capacity. This is obviously pre-TPD. It had a huge juice capacity for what it had, purely because it drank juice like an absolute bastard. But it gave you great flavour and it had incredible crowds. So I think that is...
People still have them. We still stock the coils for it. That's super cool. You should have a super cool instead of cool. I'm definitely in the super.
We've got a Sub-Zero. That's what that's for.
Sub-Zero,
Sub-Zero.
right.
Sub-Zero is
Right, I'm Sub-Zero on this, definitely, before you even say anything else. classic, brilliant flavour, great coils. You know, it doesn't matter what they look like. It's all about delivery, isn't it? It's awesome.
I think the Clitter 120 was a huge thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think for that reason, it's got to go in the Sub-Zero category.
Definitely.
I think with that one as well,
Yeah,
it
I agree.
was even better when you brought mesh coils out.
I'm going to start in reverse this time. I'm going to move on a little bit quickly, but Clitter
Sub-Zero.
120, Sub-Zero,
Yeah.
getting up there with the all right.
Full
Goes in
out.
there.
Full out.
Full house. Goes in there. What are the chat thinking about it? I think the chat are loving it as well, aren't they? So, and
The chat are all saying cool, all Sub-Zero. So yeah,
Well,
go
well,
straight
we've
to
got to find
Sub-Zero.
out. The only issue is the RBA deck is so small. That's because that was the original Clito, you donut, not the 120.
Let's put it this way. Back in the day, if you had a smock alien with a Clito 120 on top, you were the coolest man in town. You were the coolest man in town. Steve, I don't think Steve was. The first time we did this, we did the smock alien, and the smock alien was the first device to get a Sub-Zero. To get a Sub-Zero rating on our show.
What was the make of the company that did the? Do you remember the square coils? They were red. They had red rings on them. Do you know the ones I mean? They were actually physically square. The coils.
Yeah.
Oh, Tangatech.
Yes, yeah. Bloody hell! They were one of the first tanks I ever had.
Yeah.
They were pretty decent. Yeah, always used to leak behind you, but
it's a Kangatech. They all leak.
yeah, leaked a lot. But
it's 'cause
Christ,
it's
you could
got-
get some juice in there. I think you could get about 10 mil in one of them
It's
things.
got corners, corners on.
Yeah.
And we're gonna move to look Paul's last pick.
Yes.
And I think Paul's picked this because we were talking about it the last few weeks, and a few people said they'd never seen one. So
Do you know what? Yeah.
I mean, if you literally want a hand grenade, this is the device you'd pick.
I know what it is now.
It is the cherry bomber.
Oh, I love it.
The
Don't even
cherry
know what it is, and I
bomber.
want one already.
The cherry bomber. So you want clouds, we got clouds. You want hands, you've got no fucking hands. That's the way it went with the cherry bomber.
I love
Fuck
that
all-
design.
Fuck all cloners, because the cloners won't blow your hands off, and we fucking will. So,
Yeah. Well, I chose that mod purely because I love that design. I love the little pin-up lady riding that massive missile
do.
down.
I mean,
Love the design.
Floats it up.
just look at it again, right? As it goes, it's one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen.
Is that
And-
copper?
Yeah.
It's solid copper.
Is that a regulated or not mod?
Completely and totally unsafe in any way, any shape and form.
How much is that?
They're not made anymore. Like
Oh,
Cherry
right.
Bomber went out of business.
They blew up a lot, Steve. They had a lot of shorting issues.
Did they?
The problem
Yeah.
Well,
was,
because it's copper, obviously. Yeah.
the whole thing is metal, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it down, you look at it wrong, and it'll blow up on you.
I'd like it as a piece of art. Has anyone got one?
Yeah, you know what? I actually had one years ago.
I mean, they
What would one of those be worth now if one came up in the market?
I actually saw one the other week and it
genuine
wasn't
one.
that expensive.
Was it not?
It's probably a clone then, Vinny.
An actual proper official original Cherry Bomber is going to go for a bit of cash, I think.
Do you think so?
I don't. Not because someone wants to vape it, just because someone wants to own it.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Yeah, you just
I,
wanna look at it.
I love sort of industrial, mechanical, design-led things, you know.
I mean,
And although I know nothing about mod, that's the first time I've seen it. I just like the design of it, and I absolutely love the engraving on it. It's beautiful.
it came in a lot of colours, so it came in like black, red, blue, white.
I'd want it in copper.
But the copper's. I mean, Paul's picked that picture because it is. I mean, who doesn't want to own that?
Look at that.
Who
Yeah,
doesn't want to own that?
I would love that.
Who doesn't want to own Jessica Rabbit without a rabbit? Fucking riding a missile. Do you know what I mean? Who doesn't want to own that?
It looks so cool.
It ticks every box.
But it's dangerous as fuck.
Yeah.
You all know that, you know.
I mean, you've got to wonder why a lot of people in the Philippines have like really messed up hands and stuff. It's because of that.
Love it.
It
You know
was
what?
basic.
I love that. It's fucking Sub-Zero. It's just
You were basically vaping an IED. That's what. That's what you were vaping.
Yeah.
But I think for that reason, yeah, I think Paul's right. I think it's got to go to Sub-Zero.
It definitely got to go Sub-Zero.
Because
I would.
Because yeah, it's. I mean, look at it. It's fucking.
I agree.
Beautiful. There's that whole kind of risk factor with it as well. It's like, ooh, like, oh, you use a cherry bomber. Oh shit, you're crazy. You're crazy, motherfucker. I'm gonna start. Do you know what I mean? Like, even nowadays, like mod safety's come a long way. But
I mean, even looking at the picture's dangerous.
anyway, so we've got a few Sub-Zeros this evening, haven't we?
We have. I think that's the most we've had so far since that little segment.
So we did
right.
The Requiem went to Cool, didn't it? The Minikin Boost went to Uncle. Minikin 1.5 went to Uncle. The Death Wish went to Cool. The Cherry Bomber went to Sub-Zero. So did the Aspire 120. So two.
Not bad.
Two this evening.
Not bad.
But we are overrunning. But we will carry on the rest of the show, and this video's got to get off. I really can leave who wants to.
I was going to have to.
Look at that picture too much.
Shortly, I wanted Chris to pick the winner.
Chris, you need to pick the winner of the I Want the Free Shit Redemption Vape hat and mat. It's the hat and mat.
Okay.
Hat mat.
Right. A 30-hour lag here, but yeah, I think I'm going to give to Sean Toop.
Well deserved.
Grab his address,
Fair enough.
put it over to me, and I'll put it in the post first customer.
Yeah, I will do. Sean, drop me your address, buddy, and I'll pass it on to Steve.
It's somewhere in Somerset, I know that.
Yeah.
If it's not on the beach,
I like Somerset.
Vinny, before you go,
Yep.
can we quickly do a Room 101?
Yeah, let's do a 101.
Have you got time for a Room 101?
Yeah, go on.
Steve, if you don't know, we do a Room 101. This is anything you want to put into Room 101 about vaping. So anything you hate and just want to get rid of in the vaping scene, you can tell us. And do you know what? Tonight, I'm the host, but tonight, I'm going to let Paul decide what goes into Room 101.
You know what I'm putting in there?
So, Paul, you don't get to pick. You just get to decide. So, ladies and gentlemen. So we're back with Room 101. Paul's really disappointed because he was 100% going to say anything mango flavoured.
Mango ice.
You went by our mango Coolio then.
Like Paul officially hates mango. Sean, you're welcome. You're a fucking awesome dude. You're an awesome dude. Sean, like if you ever do fucking sell your fucking vape stands, hit up Steve.
Sean makes some lovely build stands and things, Steve. Does it all from wood. It's what I use on my reviews all the time. Really nice.
Stuff. Amazing work. Amazing.
We've just had some done in acrylic actually from Stealth Vape. They do some lovely CNC etching work.
Here, like, if you want some really one-off pieces, hit Sean up. He can make some awesome.
Right then, who's got the suggestions for Room 101 tonight?
Right, well, basically, guys, what's your issues with vaping? What do you want to put in? And you can't put something that's previously put in, so you can't put in vape around.
Yeah, I put vape around in, Steve.
I'd put in exhibition prices. I'm not sour, am I?
No, fair enough. Is that your suggestion for X?
Yeah,
Obviously, for you,
absolutely. It is for me. Yeah,
you-
they
you
should make it more affordable to the smaller brands like myself. More accessible for the small
Definitely.
people.
Good point.
Really good point. It does cater. Expos definitely cater to people that have got money.
Yeah,
100%.
you need money, and it's a shame. You know, I mean, I know it must. I know it must be expensive to host a show like that. You know, but someone's making some mint out of that, without a doubt. And I just think if it can't be done at Expo, then someone should take the bull by the horn, create an event that's affordable, that has a price under £1,000, that you can go there for a weekend, show off your wares, mingle with customers, more exposure for small brands. Not just me, but you know, there's loads of companies that make cracking juices that are, you know, small and medium, that haven't got these tens of thousands of pounds to advertise with. And I just think what a cracking event that could be if you could pull together 100 companies like that, you know, and it would just give you know, the wider community an opportunity to try something that they normally wouldn't have done. I mean, you know, look, when I started the business up, people said to me, there's no way in a million years are you going to be able to open up a vape shop selling your own brand only. And I went, well, I'm going to try it. And here we still are, you know, into year 3. And we, you know, 90%, probably even 95% of what we stock is our own brand. So it works. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, yes, cheaper exhibition prices would be me.
That's a very good shout, Steve.
Very
actually.
good shout. Vinny, you got anything?
No. No, I think I've done plenty of ranting in this section for the last few weeks, and this week I'm a lot more mellow.
Fair enough.
Good man.
That's what we believe in on, mate.
Yeah.
The lady in red, the lady in red, Krista Burr. Have you got anything for us? We'll give him a minute.
It's going to take him a week to tell us, though.
Lady?
Is he on a 10-second delay? Is
Black.
Chris on a delay?
Chris, are you watching through like some dodgy streaming site?
Right,
He's
can
doing a Boris.
My
Can
room
we put
my room 101 thing right now is members of a vape panel who run a vape show that can't get their shit together and lag. No, joking. To be honest
Looks like
with
he's
you,
window licking.
to be honest with you, Paul, I'm not going to give you much of a decision, mate. I'm not going to argue with Steve on what he's saying.
Steve's spot on. He's absolutely spot on with that.
To be absolutely fair, Josh, you did give me a suggestion there. Members of a vape panel who can't get their internet shit sorted out should go into room 101. So I'm actually going to make an executive decision, and I'm going to put 2 things into room 101. First one is Chris. You can go in there.
Just Chris.
And you can't argue back because he's frozen. And then also Steve's suggestion, because that is absolutely spot on.
Bang on. I mean, expos need to be for everybody, for all.
All inclusive. That's
yeah.
what they need to be.
Yeah.
Not just
Even
for
if
the
we had a
fucking-
separate area where they went, you know, not free shit hunters, you know, like cheap brand wanters, you know, like people that can't afford the red carpet, you know, give us a fucking purple carpet. I don't give a shit. Just give us an area.
We all have to admit, so like a lot of us on here are quite we like high end equipment, stuff like this and that and the other, but we are actually a very small percentage of vapors on the whole.
Yeah.
You know, so it should be accessible to everybody and every vapor. And Steve's bang on right. Right. It needs to be there for everybody, not just for the few that have actually gonna fork up for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, all those companies started off, you know, in the kitchen or the basement or a small unit at some point, and absolutely fair play to them. You know, the brands that have grown out of nothing into multi-million-pound companies, fantastic. You know, they've got something right. But, you know, they just really ought to be something for the upcoming brands, you know. I mean, this bloody malarkey about paying to put your juices into for submission is what a load of bollocks that is.
And that's the
You
whole
know what I
reason.
mean?
That's the whole reason that Vapor Round went into
You know,
Room 101 the other week.
That's why I lost my shit with
they
Vapor
just-
Round.
They make a mockery out of vaping. They make a mockery out of what it's there for.
If you don't
Do you know what I mean?
advertise, if you don't bung the money, you're getting nowhere. Well, you know,
To
bugger
me,
off.
it just seems like another way to make a quick buck.
Pillaging.
They don't care about the.
That's a much better word than I use, Paul.
With the same meaning, Vincent.
Yes, but it's a much better word than what I used.
Chris, you can't put your laptop into Room 101. It's not vaping's fault that your laptop's shit.
Right, Chris, you can take it in with me if you want. I don't mind. You can take it in. Enjoy sitting with Vapor Round in there, mate.
Anyway,
I'll tell
guys.
you what, I'm glad my dog's sleeping because it's been that long since he's had a pee. I think if he'd been up, he would have peed on my carpet.
Anyway, guys, we usually aim to do an hour and a half show. We've done an hour and 50 minutes this evening, so we are going to wrap it up. Guys, massive thank you to Steve from Redemption Vape.
Thanks for
Big
having
hand,
us.
Steve. Big
I
hand.
know,
Cheers.
I know
Thank
we
you.
all, at the minute, we're really preaching buy local, but if you can't find something you like and you want to try something new, go check out Steve. I believe it's www.redemption.uk, is it? Not
No.
.co.uk? Is it .co.uk?
No, it's Redemption Vape.
Vape, sorry.
UK.
RedemptionVape.uk. That's fucking terrible of me, innit? I put it up earlier as well. RedemptionVape.uk.
Thank you.
It threw me because it's not got the .co, so that's what threw me.
To be fair, if you tapped in co.uk, it'd get directed there anyway.
It's
Because I've
still
got all the domains. So
if you want to try something new and try some, by the sounds of it, really cold liquids.
If you like, well, Steve actually owns the trademark for the brain freeze, so that's how cold they are.
So if you want to try something new, go check out Steve. We all know Steve's a stand-up guy. The shop's great. He does his part for the community. He's one of those good guys in vaping, so please go check him out. And yeah, so thanks guys. Thanks for sticking around this evening, and I think we'll leave you on that note. And we'll see you all next Friday with another Free Shit Friday. So, guys, it's been a pleasure as always on a Friday. Just fucking knock this juice everyone.
Thanks everyone.
And on that note, say bye everybody.
cheers, all the best. Stay safe.
Bye. I got to work out how to end the show again, and I. Bye.
Come on, Josh.